Hello and welcome to the Silver King's War. I'm Michael Sievers, the writer, producer, and creator of this podcast series about my father's Second World War as a B-26 bombardier. Today we are in the final play, which is titled Who is Della? We begin Act 2, called I Am Della, and this is Scene 5, titled Della and Stanley. And it begins with Michael, the narrator, who is Stanley's son. This scene is the home of Della Martin in San Gabriel, California. James Sheppard and Frank Simpson purchased this house to complete Della's transition from Patton State Hospital to a private life in a lovely home with a full-time companion. The men found Viola Powell, a widow, to live with and care for Della Martin. It's 1957, and Della is 74. Viola is 70. And they are in the living room talking about current events with Stanley Silverfield, James Sheppard, and his children, Eileen, Pam, and Tom. President Dwight David Eisenhower, who had appeared in the first play in this sequence about the Silver King's War, that play, The Silver King, and his vice president, Richard M. Nixon, who ironically had worked after the war briefly at Martin's site in Middle River while the Navy was conducting an audit, have won a second term in the White House. This is the narrator, Michael, looking ahead into his father's imagined life. Stanley Silverfield, 34, moved to Los Angeles from Baltimore in 1956. He became a design executive with Lockheed Engineering and a legal guardian of Della Martin. In 1995, Lockheed merged with Martin Marietta to become Lockheed Martin. And Stanley, then 73, as the leading legacy executive, became the newly merged firm's first chief executive officer. Like his mentor, Stanley never married, but as Glenn Martin asked of his young protege late in his life, Stanley became an integral part of Della Martin's life with the James Sheppard family. And as the lights go up on this scene, Della Martin, Glenn's older sister, who is now living in a private home, steps forward beneath a single light and speaks directly to the audience.
I tumbled in turbulence, waiting for the river to spit me out. Cold, that kind of waiting, that kind of life. We have all been marked by words. My name is Della. In a far window, I now watch mourning doves scuttle beneath acacia trees, feeding. They flap their wings and rise.
This is the end of Scene 5, entitled Della and Stanley, in Act 2, titled I Am Della, and this is in the fourth and final play entitled Who is Della? And you are listening to the Silver King's War.